Hollywood actually going really heavily against Cheryl Hines. This would be the wife of RFK Jr. So they have no use for her, you see now. No use for her at all because, well, you know, she's one of them. She's one of the Trumpers. She's actually married to a guy who's doing the unthinkable. So there's this guy that started attacking her named Bradley Whitford. This is interesting. Variety had a big story on it. I've never heard of this guy. Have you guys heard of Bradley Whitford? I've never, ever, ever, ever heard of him. So that was kind of interesting. In fact, I had to say to one of my producers, who actually is a little more familiar with pop culture than I am, which is not hard to do. Hey, quiz me on opera any day of the week, but pop culture, forget it. Anyway, Bradley Whitford, he's slamming Cheryl Hines for not speaking out after her, quote, lunatic husband, RFK Jr., endorsed Trump for president. Quote, way to stay silent. So he had this big, long tweet, and he's being super nasty and trying to shame her, this, that, and the other. So again, you're asking, who the heck is Bradley Whitford? Let me get to that in a second. He's kind of irrelevant, but nonetheless, you should know. Here he is, okay? This is Bradley Whitford. So apparently, he is best known for his portrayal of the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Josh Lyman, in the NBC television political drama, The West Wing, for which he was nominated, I'm assuming, for an Emmy Award. Anyway, so he's the chief of staff on a television show, which apparently, in his little mind, qualifies him to go bonkers on a woman who's married to a guy who's running for president. Now listen, you are absolutely in this country, thanks to our First Amendment, welcome to go bonkers on anyone. The problem here is he's not the only one, right? They're piling on her. And it's going to be a shutdown, if you would, of her career. I mean, she's probably already experienced it. And so then you've got other family members of RFK Jr., forgive me, that are also, you know, trying to deal with this onslaught, if you would, and they're furious, and they're very passionate about their fury, so much so that they took the time to go on that really horrible show anchored by this really conspiratorial woman there on MSNBC. This is Kerry Kennedy. She's the sister of RFK Jr. I mean, heck, who needs enemies when you got family like this? Take a listen.
It sounds to me like your cousin Jack Schlossberg thinks this has always been a grift and that the reason he ran for president in the first place was to serve Donald Trump. Do you think that's true?
Well, I think what's important is where is Bob and where is Donald Trump and who are people going to vote for in this election? I think if my dad were alive today, he would detest almost everything about Donald Trump. His lying, his selfishness, his racism, his cynicism, hatred, fascist sympathies, deliberate misinformation about vaccines, criminal felony convictions, rape of E. Jean Carroll, his contempt for the poor and suffering, for ethics, for democracy and healing, and his cruel sneering at human rights for suffering people in America and around the world, which are the causes that Daddy loved so passionately and were so important to him. And I, personally, I completely disavow and separate and disassociate myself from my brother, Bobby Kennedy, and his flagrant and inexplicable effort to desecrate and trample and set fire to Daddy's memory. I love Bobby, and I have tremendous respect for a lot of the work that he's done in the past. But on this, he's wrong. And on this, it's really important for people to understand that the Kennedy family endorses Harris. And we do so because that's who represents our values and our vision and that of Robert Kennedy and John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, and that's who's going to sign our next paycheck, right? We're part of the system, and that's all there is to it. And we're not going to respect you for having a difference of opinion. No, clearly she doesn't respect him. And wow, this lady likes adjectives, does she not? I mean, how many did we have to hear there? Wow, 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 wow. Anyway, so that's his sister. So his wife is getting hit by other actors in Hollywood. The sister's going on to MSNBC because she's taken out all her rage and frustration about, him using the family name. How dare he to support somebody that she so clearly despises. But look, it goes back to something I'm going to show you again, right? It goes back to policies. It goes back to inflation. It goes back to the border. It goes back to security. These are the things that matter. It's one of the reasons why I encourage you to go take a look at Project 25. This is something that's sponsored by the Heritage Foundation. It's a presidential transition project. It's called Project 2025, and they're really out in the open on it. In fact, I've had some of their experts on. We've talked about different policies that they are pushing. They are really, really, really very forthcoming. And so forthcoming, despite what the left says about this being some kind of secret backroom thing, it's all right there at 25truth.com. I think you should go and check it out because this is important. There's 4 main pillars there. You're talking about American independence for energy, any which way you can get it. You know what? We want it. We want it. We want to be able to secure our own energy future. We were there. Somehow, something got lost on the way to the forum vis-a-vis this administration. And so what did that lead to? Inflation, pain, etc. And so you can fix those things with the right kinds of policies. Other issues, very, very front and center, include things like this deep state, right? You can't be going after people just because they don't serve your political purpose, your political agenda, and many more. So go take a look at this. This is the truth. This is the truth about Project 2025. Go get it yourself, www.25truth.com. Again, as we think about what's going on, I just wanted to throw code word dollar up there for 76 research, guys. Let me see. Can you see code word dollar? That's not going to help you without the URL. So make sure you go and check out the URL. Let me see if I can put it up, in which case we will have it right there for you. There you go. Okay, so this is 76 Research, my financial research newsletter. I started, if nothing else, you know what, just go and get the free stuff. Just go get the free stuff because it's important, or sign up for the good stuff, in which case it's only $1. So a special promo that we're running really for the back to school effort.